Hello and welcome back, my friends. Today I'm going to be sharing with you everything there is that I know to help you to grow a productive fruit-bearing pomegranate tree, or two, even better. And the pomegranate is actually more like a shrub. It's referred to as both a tree or a shrub, but its growth habit is more shrub-like in that it puts off these new suckers every year right at the base. You can see I've got a few down there that I still need to prune out. But its growth habit is definitely more like a shrub. It's an extremely ornamental species to have in your garden. Now in the spring, when the tree starts to push out its new foliage, because it is a deciduous plant, meaning that it loses all its leaves in the wintertime, it creates this beautiful, nice shimmering effect in the breeze. And then shortly thereafter, you've got the beautiful blooms that come on, followed by the very ornamental fruits. Look at all the flowers on this white pomegranate here. So the pomegranate tree is what's known as monoecious. It has both male and female flowers, so it's self-fertile. It can self-pollinate, although it does need the help of insects like bees to come in and help to spread the pollen around. With that being said, there are different varieties that are dominantly male and dominantly female, and I've got two varieties here that I want to share with you how to tell the two apart, and also give you some tips on ways to increase your fruit set. So here we've got the white pomegranate, and one of the telltale signs as to whether the flower is male or female is the male flowers look like this little bell shape. They're not too elongated. And if you look closely at the center of the flower, you'll see no stigma. That's the little centerpiece of the flower that sticks out, which is only present on the female flowers. Now this white pomegranate here is predominantly male flowers. So even though it is monoecious and it'll put on some fruits each year, this tree has always given us a limited amount of fruit. With that being said, our wonderful variety over here always gives us an abundance of fruits. And you can see on this wonderful variety, here's one of the flowers that have yet to open. It looks more like a shelled peanut. And if you look closer, even at these flowers that have opened, it still's got a bell look to it, but it's got like a double curve. And if you look really closely at the center, you can see kind of a darker little stem poking out, the stigma. So if you go around and you look at all the different flowers that are starting to open up on this tree, about 95% of them, if not more, it's hard for me to even find a male flower on this tree, are all female. So having that white variety to help cross-pollinate is extremely beneficial. Now, whether you're growing the wonderful and the white variety as I am here or not, it's always going to be beneficial to have two different varieties of pomegranate for cross-pollination. That should increase your fruit set up to 30%. But I just absolutely love the pomegranate. The taste of the fruit is absolutely exquisite. And one of the main benefits to growing pomegranate is its shelf life. If you store it correctly, let's say you got a root cellar, similar to the way you would store apples, you can store pomegranates up to 7 months in the proper conditions. So it's very beneficial as a self-sufficiency crop. Let's head back over here to the white variety. Just check out some of these flowers. So if you want to increase your fruit production on the pomegranate, then what you want to do is actually hand pollinate. You could actually use your finger, dip it into one of these male flowers. I don't know if you can see the pollen on my finger. That one wasn't really loaded with the pollen. We'll go to another one here. So you've got the pollen. You can touch the male flower, and you can head over to the female flower. And that's all it takes to fertilize. Now, it's going to be best to do this with a Q-tip, or even better yet, a little artist paintbrush. Works really well. I've never actually gone through the effort of doing that, and we've gotten some really nice fruit sets here. And that's in part because we have plenty of pollinators in this garden. We have bumblebees, bees, hummingbirds, and all of these different beneficial insects and the wildlife that come in that dip themselves into these flowers are helping to cross-pollinate and giving us the fruit set we're looking for. But to hand pollinate is definitely an option. I wanted to give you guys that information. A couple more little tidbits of info is that the pomegranate originated in Iran and the Himalayas into northern India, and now they're pretty much spread throughout the entire world. They are quite cold tolerant. They can handle temperatures down to 0 degrees Fahrenheit. So if you live in USDA climate zones 7 through 10, you won't have any issues growing this beautiful species of edible crop. So I hope this video helps. A couple more things I will say is that it's really important that you keep on top of the pruning. If you don't do any pruning of the pomegranates, they can get as tall as 20 feet. But generally, with just a little bit of topping on the tree, you can keep it between 12, 15 feet tall. Not hard to do at all. Taking out the suckers each year is one of the most important ways to prune. So get towards the base of that tree. I've shown you how to prune these trees in another video. Check the links below if you want to learn more on that. And also prune out the dead wood. And then you can do a little bit of maintenance pruning around the tree just to keep it in check, but you don't want to over prune. It will affect the fruit set. Now the flowers in the fruit set on new growth. So you can see here these little stems that are developing off of last year's wood are where the flowers start to come. Here's a better example. See, this whole stem here is all new growth. We got a nice female flower at the end there. So you're going to have 1 to 2 year growth. These little branches that put off your newest shoot branches, which are going to produce your growth. So be aware of that when you're doing your pruning. You're going to have your main branches and trunks of the tree that produce last year's wood, and then you're going to have the new growth, the new little smaller shoots and wood that pop out, where you're going to have your flowering and your fruiting. These trees are not difficult to grow. They're very drought tolerant. They do like a good drink from time to time. But if you are looking to get a couple of these trees, I'd highly recommend getting a wonderful and a white variety. Just know that you're not going to get many fruits off the white because it is predominantly male flowers, but being that the wonderful is predominantly female flowers, you're getting all that production because of that wonderful cross-pollination with the two. But you may want to try some other varieties as well. I love the wonderful. It's a big, large pomegranate, very healthy, delicious. So with that, I hope you guys are having yourself a wonderful day. Sun is starting to set, it's starting to go down. We had a hot one today. We got into the 90s, and we got a cool-off period coming, but we're entering into that time of year where it's a little bit too hot to be out here in the afternoon. So morning time, late afternoon, evening time is when I like to get most of my works done out here. So hope you all are having a good one. Until next time, this is Dan from plantabundance.com. Take care. I'll be talking to you again soon.